Have you ever experienced that magical moment when the sky transforms after a rainstorm? The sun breaks through the clouds, and suddenly, a brilliant arc of colors appears: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet, stretching across the heavens. Perhaps you have tried to chase a rainbow, hoping to find its end, only to discover it moving just beyond your reach. There is something deeply personal about witnessing a rainbow, a private spectacle between you and the cosmos. This is not mere poetic sentiment, it is rooted in scientific fact. The rainbow you see is yours alone, and no one else, not even someone standing right beside you, sees exactly the same rainbow. This phenomenon was first mathematically described by René Descartes in 1637. While observing water-filled glass spheres in sunlight, he noticed how light rays entered the spheres, reflected internally, and then dispersed into their component colors upon exiting. This discovery laid the groundwork for understanding how rainbows form, though it was Isaac Newton who, in the 1660s, definitively proved that white light contains all colors of the spectrum through his famous prism experiments. To understand why each rainbow is unique to its observer, we must first grasp how rainbows form. The process begins when sunlight, which appears white but contains all visible wavelengths, strikes a raindrop. As light enters the drop, it slows down and bends, a phenomenon known as refraction. Different wavelengths bend at slightly different angles. Red light bends less than blue light. The light then reflects off the inside back surface of the raindrop and exits, undergoing a second refraction. This separation of wavelengths creates the spectrum of colors we perceive. But here lies the key to our rainbow's uniqueness: the position of the rainbow in the sky depends entirely on where you stand relative to the sun and the raindrops. Meteorologist Oliva Richards from the National Weather Service explains, each rainbow is observer-dependent. The rainbow forms along a cone of light rays with the observer at the apex and the sun at the opposite end. Your eyes can only detect the light that enters them directly, so you see only the light from raindrops positioned at the precise angle necessary for the refracted and reflected light to reach your eyes. This means the rainbow forms along a circular arc centered on the anti-solar point, the point directly opposite the sun from your perspective. If you move, this anti-solar point moves with you, changing which raindrops are positioned correctly to send rainbow-colored light to your eyes. Dr. Michael Xavierson, optical physicist at the University of Arizona, offers this analogy: imagine you are standing in a field with thousands of tiny mirrors scattered in front of you. Each mirror reflects light only in one specific direction. As you move, different mirrors come into the exact position needed to reflect light into your eyes. Rainbows work similarly, except each raindrop is splitting and reflecting the entire spectrum. The mathematics supporting this uniqueness are elegantly precise. Rainbows always appear at approximately 42 degrees from the anti-solar point, a value determined by the refractive index of water. Red light appears at about 42 degrees, while blue light appears at around 40 degrees, creating the familiar color band. This angle remains constant regardless of the observer, but which specific raindrops contribute to your rainbow changes continuously with your position. Even the person standing next to you sees a slightly different set of raindrops forming their rainbow. The difference may be imperceptible over small distances, but it is absolute. Your companion's rainbow is constructed from an entirely different collection of raindrops than yours. The uniqueness extends beyond just position. The rainbow's appearance also depends on the size of the raindrops. In 1908, physicist Gustav Mie developed equations describing how light scatters from spherical particles of different sizes. His work revealed that larger raindrops, around 1 mm, produce more vivid, narrower rainbows with purer colors, while smaller droplets create broader, paler bows. Meteorologist Dr. Emily Thorson of NOAA points out, raindrop size varies tremendously within a single rain shower. Near the front of a storm, drops tend to be larger, while the trailing edge often contains smaller droplets. As these conditions change, sometimes within minutes, the rainbow's appearance transforms. Consider, too, that raindrops are not the perfect spheres depicted in textbooks. They begin round but become distorted as they fall. Drops larger than 2 mm develop a flattened bottom from air resistance, resembling hamburger buns more than perfect spheres. This asymmetry affects how light refracts through them, subtly altering the rainbow's appearance. Since raindrop shapes vary within any rainfall and change constantly as drops fall, coalesce, and break apart, the rainbow you see at one moment differs from the one you might see seconds later. The rainbow's environment adds further variables. In 1911, atmospheric scientist Alfred Wegener, better known for his continental drift theory, documented how dust and pollutants in the atmosphere affect rainbow appearance. Modern atmospheric scientists have confirmed that particulate matter can diminish brightness and shift color balance. Urban rainbows often appear less vibrant than those in pristine wilderness areas due to pollution. Altitude introduces another dimension of uniqueness. The pilot of an aircraft might observe a full-circle rainbow, something impossible from ground level where the horizon interrupts the lower half of the 42-degree cone. Mountain climbers occasionally report seeing more than 180 degrees of a rainbow arc when viewing from sufficient height. Each altitude presents a unique perspective on the rainbow phenomenon. Time adds the final element of uniqueness. The sun's position changes continuously, altering the anti-solar point. Dr. Xavier Sun explains, the rainbow you see at 4 p.m. literally cannot exist at 4:05 p.m. because the sun has moved. Different raindrops are now positioned at the correct angles to create a new rainbow. Even more fascinating is that the rainbow's very existence as brief raindrops fall at approximately 9 meters per second. The drops creating the colors you see right now will have fallen away within seconds, replaced by new drops that momentarily take up the precise positions needed to create your rainbow. Like the river of Heraclitus, into which one cannot step twice, the rainbow is never composed of the same water twice. Beyond the primary rainbow, nature offers even more exclusive optical treasures. Secondary rainbows, caused by light reflecting twice inside raindrops, appear about 51 degrees from the anti-solar point with reversed color order. Supernumerary bows, subtle pink and green bands sometimes visible inside the primary bow, arise from light wave interference patterns described by Thomas Young in his groundbreaking wave theory experiments of 1801. These interference patterns depend on extremely specific raindrop sizes and uniformity, making them rare and always unique to the observer. Perhaps most captivating are the implications for our perception. Neuroscientist Dr. Anna Crawford of MIT's Visual Perception Laboratory notes, our experience of a rainbow represents the intersection of physics, meteorology, geometry, and neurobiology. What we see is actually our brain's interpretation of specific wavelengths striking specific retinal cells. Since no two people have identical neural architecture or precisely the same position, no two people can experience exactly the same rainbow, even if they share binoculars. The rainbow thus becomes a perfect metaphor for the subjective nature of perception. Each observer constructs their own reality from the available sensory information, filtered through their unique biology and position in space and time. What about photographs? Can they not capture the rainbow for all to share? While cameras can record the light from a rainbow, they do so from a single point in space at a specific moment in time. The photograph represents the rainbow as it appeared exclusively to the camera lens in that exact position and instant, a rainbow that existed in that form for no other observer. This exclusivity extends to all rainbow-like phenomena. The glory, a small rainbow-colored halo sometimes visible around airplane shadows on clouds, forms through a complex light-scattering process called the optical glory. When passengers on opposite sides of an aircraft look out their windows at the airplane's shadow on clouds, each sees their own glory centered on their own line of sight. Two passengers cannot observe the same glory, even when viewing the same cloud at the same moment. The colorful rings around the moon called lunar coronae, the vibrant halos sometimes encircling the sun, and even the iridescent patterns in soap bubbles all follow similar principles. Each depends on the precise geometry between light source, observer, and the medium causing dispersion or interference. Each is unique to its observer. There is something profoundly philosophical about this scientific truth. In an age where experiences are increasingly shared and digitized, the rainbow remains stubbornly personal. No matter how advanced our technology becomes, the fundamental physics of light ensures that your rainbow is yours alone, a private showing of one of nature's most spectacular phenomena. This exclusivity extends beyond rainbows to much of our perceptual world. The specific combination of photons that reach your retina, the sound waves that vibrate your eardrums, the molecules that bind to your olfactory receptors, all are unique to your position in space and time. While we may agree broadly on what constitutes red or sweet or loud, the precise sensory experience remains individual. Dr. Crawford adds, understanding the uniqueness of rainbows helps us appreciate that our reality is not a perfect, objective recording of the world, but a constructed experience based on the specific information available to our particular sensory systems from our particular vantage point. So the next time rain gives way to sunshine and you spot that arc of colors spanning the sky, remember that you are witnessing something no one has ever seen before and no one will ever see again, a rainbow created just for you, existing only from your unique perspective, composed of light from raindrops that will never again occupy exactly those positions in precisely those conditions. The ancient Greeks believed rainbows were paths made by the goddess Iris as she carried messages from the gods to humanity. While we now understand the physics behind their formation, rainbows have lost none of their wonder. Perhaps there is something appropriate in their personal nature, each a unique message from the universe, written in light, delivered through mathematics, and addressed exclusively to whoever stands in just the right place to receive it.